My screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay. So what we discussed lastly, what examples we covered or anything you like remember in the last lecture? Anyone can speak? SCM challenges. Okay.
I'm audible to you, ma'am, properly.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, in last class we discussed about what are the challenges generally we face in a supply chain, and what are the factor depend like the uh, uh, pesticide, how will you protect that product, or how it's indirectly how it will be customized. Like we discussed about dairy milk chocolate.
Okay.
Apart from that, like uh, we charge very small amount, then it take a maximum charges of transportation, other printing and manufacturing, but it's number of the production is high, then it's take no charge. So generally we discussed about
Okay. Also, we discussed about the sustainable supply chain, or we can say green supply
yes,
chain
green,
management.
yeah, right.
Yes. So these two things we discussed yesterday. So today's topic is trends in supply chain for like nowadays how technology is changing. So what are the trends, new trends are coming in the supply chain management to make it efficient, robust and error free, mostly error free. So today we will discuss about the trends. What do you think about those who are in the same domain or wants to make the career in this domain? So according to you, what you like observed, what can be the trends are right now? What are the technologies in supply chain they are opting in nowadays? If anyone can list one or two. According to you, what is your observation on this?
Analytics, data analytics, they're using under Internet of Things.
Okay. Elaborate more.
Like in forecasting and inventory management, this and all, and to make a supply chain to be sustainable and more effective and efficient way, we are using data analytics for the risk management uh, in our supply chain.
If forecasting, we already do. Without forecasting, we can't sustain any supply chain management. So this is not the trend. This is the common practice we are following in the supply chain for the forecasting for the any product and services. So right now there are many trends are coming in the supply chain using AI, IoT, big data, data analytics, data science. So these things are the new trends in supply chain management. The first is digital transformation. So what are the digital transformation technologies to improve this SCM? What do you think? What are the digital transformation we are using right now for making our more the supply chain more efficient, according to you? And why
Uh,
we need, and first question that why we need digital supply chain management? We are already having the traditional methods. So why we are switching to the digital things? So this is also the question. Firstly, we will discuss why we need the digital supply chain management. So you have any reasons in your mind why we are switching to the digital things?
Like we can track our order like we can where the order is and how to uh, like on the tag based on the tag the product actual product what we ordered and what we are receiving these things and reverse logistics these and all uh, can be managed by these technologies like
Okay, anyone else?
We can do data-driven decision making. So by using advanced analytics techniques and also using data science technique, we can use to make up informed decision for the optimization, to take out strategic decision and predicting the demand fluctuation as well. And also for cost reduction means if you do any automation or digital workflow streamline processes, we can minimize the manual efforts as well as minimize the errors, so we can improve the operational efficiency. And also we can it is a way to direct visibility and transparency means using just mentioned as industrial internet of things, we can collect the data in the every aspect of supply chain, means manufacturing the data to delivery part, so we can tracking the orders and inventory as well.
Yes. So basic terms, what are the challenges we are facing in the traditional supply chain? First is not the transparency at all. Okay. Second, it is time consuming. Thirdly, it is not accurate. It is not what we have imagined, but in real time, the things have complex and the supply chain is not more that time it is efficient. So first we will discuss the challenges and how digital transformation come up with the challenges, and we will discuss first these things why we need it. So traditional supply chain management based on rules functions, this is in traditional time we are working on the transactional inputs on what is coming in the history time. Okay, but nowadays digital supply chain, it is like studying the behavior of the customer, studying the market trends, studying the historical demand as well. So there are many parameters. It is firstly watching, then it is coming to the outcome, that how this supply chain will work. So the digital supply chain is working on the real time things, not on the estimation thing. Before it was working on the estimation or the prediction things, but now it is more real time. So it is more relatable for nowadays. It is more, it is lesser the wasting thing, lesser the time, or more customer satisfaction is there in the digital supply chain. That is why we are switching to the digital supply chain. Then traditional methods, tracking orders is also there. The most important thing, we can have the track and trace portal, and we can track any small and small parcel or big and big shipments where it is right now. And if it is like stuck somewhere in the warehouse or in any seaport or where wherever, if in the in hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yeah, what was happened before? I think I was disconnected some.
I think internet issue at your end,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
network fluctuation.
Yes. Okay. So the first thing is the digital supply chain is working on the real time things, not on the prediction, not on the traditional based things. So first challenge was that, then it has been recovered in the digital supply chain. Secondly, the information from IT and operational technologies systems are integrated. Before, there was no communication way between the suppliers, vendors, what are the transparency, where the tracking is. In my company, if I talk about, there is a work in progress report we are having from the factory every 2 times in a day, when they have started the factory and when they have ended their factory work. So they are giving us the 2 times of report, what that we call the work in progress report. So we can check where are the products are there, in which process they are into the product. What because there are many processes by which from one laminate coming, then it will transform into the PCB network. So before between them there are maybe 10 to 11 processes, and it will take at least, for finishing it will take 2 to 3 days. So if there is any stock or any quantity, if it is stuck in any process, so we can have the follow up with the factory workers. So this is real time they are working. This is how the factory workers and we, the order processing team, is integrated with the product. We can have the real time image of the product where it is now. So this is how digital supply chain management using Excel, using Sage. There are many in-house tools as well, by which we can coordinate with the factory team, with the engineer team, with the technology team, with the order processing team, and as well with our customer, because we also have to mention the report to our customer as well if the delivery date has been delayed or they are asking for the status. Sometimes what happen, we have the late POs due to some human errors and these things. So sometimes the order we receive from the customer end is also delayed, but they cannot shift the delivery date. So at that time we have to manage with the factory workers and make the expedite our orders on the first priority. So this is how the integrated systems in digital supply chains are working, and this has saved a lot of time and the any mishappening in the factory, because the automotive sector is working 24/7. So if their supply chain has stopped, so there are crores of losses is there. So this the supply chain cannot be stopped. So this is how integrated systems are working, and how it is overlapping the traditional methods. This is how the integrated things are happening in the supply chain management. So the digital transformation, shared quality and control data as well, can enable companies to anticipate issues and take immediate precautionary measures as well. Yes. So the same time I'm telling you, if there are any product that will be stuck in the some so and so process, so we can have the immediate follow with the factory worker. So it also saves the time. Sometimes what happened, whatever the shipment report we are coming from the factory, we can check immediately, and if there is any date code expired, what factory workers did, the expired date code they have shipped to our warehouses. So why? Because they also want to make their benefits, or they want to clear their stocks. So this time we have to, if we have that shipment report immediately from the factory after their shipment or what they are shipping, so we can directly coordinate with the factory workers if they are having any wrong date codes or any wrong description or in any wrong article they are shipping to us. So this is how we can have the control data, we can have the quality data after having these transparency with the factory workers and the order processing team. So this cannot trouble our customer. If the customer is troubled, then the whole project can lose. We can lose the whole project. So this kind of error we cannot afford, the company cannot afford. So this is how digital supply chains drives the decision with human oversight. While in the traditional supply chains, what happen? Human make the decision based on the machine inputs. Okay, so if whatever the machine is doing, that in traditional supply chain, there is a more more control or more interruption of the humans there. But now supply chains and the AI is, after machine learning, they are using the machine learning technology, so they can have the decision by their own, or they can suggest us that what you should do. So this is how digital supply chain is working. That is why we are switching to the more digital things than the traditional methods as well. So these are the problems we are discussing. So these trends, what trends are right now going on in the supply chain? The first is digital transformation. Second, e-commerce and SCM, resilience and agility, and collaboration and integration. So what do you mean by e-commerce and SCM according to you guys? We already discussed the digital transformation. So what is e-commerce and SCM? And are they same? What is e-commerce and SCM according to you? According to all of you? It is also adapting supply chains for online retail. So what do you think, these things, these two terms are equal or can be used extra interchangeably, or what is the difference between SCM and e-commerce?
In e-commerce sector, based on the customer strategy, we can provide the recommendation based on the personal data. We can offer the personalized shopping offers, and we can predict the customer behavior, as well as we can check their purchase history, whatever the data that we get, and based on that, we can also do real-time order tracking in retail and e-commerce sector. And in supply chain, we can do integration with the existing system for the inventory management and as well as for the warehouse automation.
Okay. So e-commerce and SCM both are simultaneously working. Otherwise, we cannot deliver the product to our customers. E-commerce is how the customer reaching to our product, what platforms we are having, what platforms which comes under the e-commerce. There are many e-commerce platforms we are having nowadays, for the household needs, for the fashion industry as well. There are many companies existing there in the market. So also we can purchase the item from worldwide as well. There is one website, uh, Uniqlo. No, there is one platform which is now not existing right nowadays. That is the global supply chain. We are we can place the order, and that can have from the China to India. Okay, because I used that, but I skipped the name for now. So that is working on the global supply chain. That platform is working globally. Alibaba is also there, yes. But that was some other supply chain, some other platform name I skipped. So e-commerce is we are placing the order, and supply chain how it is organizing the order and delivering to the customer. So e-commerce and supply chain both are working simultaneously to fulfill the customer needs. And there are many platforms are there. E-commerce and supply chain. Okay. The trends, resilience and agility, building flexible and responsive supply chains. We also have seen that if we need something and it is showing on the website, on the platform, that it is out of stock, or only 5 or 10 pairs are there, only 5 sets are there. So this is the flexible and responsive supply chain. This is how the transparency is there. This is how they are also managing their stock. But it is also the marketing strategy in the like they are using, the websites are using, that how quickly the customer purchases the thing because the stock is running out. So this is also the marketing strategy. They are also having the costing or pricing changing. They in at the time of sale or something, they can manipulate the prices. The same item you are if you are like purchasing today, that will be 1,000 rupees, but in the same time if you have checked the same product, it will be the pricing has been manipulated or being pluses and minuses. Though it is according to the stock, how much stock is there. If the stock is high, then the prices will be low. Okay, because they are having the more product in their stock, so they can fulfill the more customer needs, so the prices will be lower, and the vice versa will be there for the different products and services. So this is how e-commerce and supply chain are responsive as well, and they are flexible as well. So we can have the also the return product. What I have did once, I purchased the product in some price, and I checked the same product in the next day, that will have the lower price. So what I have done, I returned the I returned the product at the same time and purchased the new one at the new price. So this is how customers are also benefiting the e-commerce and supply chain website, how they are using the online retail. So this is we cannot negotiate there, okay, but offline retail things we can bargain, we can negotiate whatever the on the price of the product. But in these website, we are having the customers who have like more time, so they can also use these strategies. So the customer will be benefited. There are more Shopsy, Meesho, they are having very less price of products are available there. So the how the customer is benefiting, the most important thing is there. And after this, they are having also the profit, the benefits they are having, how many growth is there. So Myntra is booming very high because the interface they are using in their app is also very good. The resolutions they are using very good. This is how also influencing the customer. If you use the Amazon and Flipkart, their interface and resolutions are not up to the mark. But how the Myntra is doing it, they are also charging the platform fee that we are using. If you have if you have placed an order, they are also having the platform fees. Before it was not there. So this is how they're also doing their sales thing, doing their profit at high price. So this is also benefiting the vendor, the customer, the platform, the many sellers, the logistics company. So it is engaging every department, every industry of the market in the e-commerce and supply chain. Also there is a furniture that I talked about, the ICA company. So it is it is supplying the furniture. It's a very big shipment and very packaging is there. So they are also engaging many customers, many vendors in the in between the supply chain. So this is how it is resilience, agile. It can be flexible. We can have the chatbots. If sometimes what happen, if we have changed the address and we wrongly selected the different address, so we can also change that. That is also the responsible and flexible supply chain, how they can have the logistics change. So this is also, they have customized their whole app or whole website as per the customer needs. So this is also, they have the checking or behavioral things to read how the customer want the website. So there are many changes. If I talked about in 2015, if I 2015 or what 2018, I purchased from the Myntra. So there is no specification for descriptions was there when I choose any cloth or any shoe or any jewelry or anything. So, but nowadays they are having every product description on the on the last of the photos, on the photo shoots. So this is how they are giving the transparency and giving the value to the customer. They can come to the platform and they can purchase. This is how they are building the trust. Okay. So this is how e-commerce and supply chain is very resilient and agile to the customer. It also collaborate and integrated. This is how they are working in the closed loop system. Closed loop system is they are working on the feedback. They are also asking if the product is fine or not. They are also having the feedback system. So this is how they are collaborating with the customer. And nowadays they are also having this Instagram collaboration things where we can sense the different styles. We can sense what will go on the different clothes and what the styles are there. So this is how they're collaborating with the influencers. Okay, so this is how they're integrating the supply chain as well. So these are the big trends which are influencing the supply chain management, improving the supply chain management. So we will more study and what are the top trends in supply chain digital transformation. First is e-commerce integration. E-commerce is integrated with the many things that we have discussed using AI tools, using Power BI tools. They are having, and the second is cloud computing. Oracle is the big name, which are using cloud computing things. They are connected the vendors, the customers, the order processing team, the purchasing team, everyone on the same platform. This is how they are having the cloud computing thing, and using this cloud computing, they are improved the customer experience, also the vendor payments as well. So there will be no clashes, there will be no problems at the customer end, also at the vendor end. It is the database system Oracle is using, which is totally based on the cloud computing thing. Artificial intelligence we already discussed. IoT we already discussed. Blockchain is also providing the security things in the time of invoice and these things. The third is supply chain digital twins. So what does it supply chain digital twins is? It is the virtual representation of the supply chain that consists hundreds of warehouses, inventories, assets, logistics, positions. So digital twin simulates the supply chain performance using AI and advanced analytics, including all the complexities that drive risk and vulnerabilities. A digital twin also increasing the visibility and help your workforce to take the advantage of opportunities, particularly in complex supply chains. So this supply chain digital twins are more good in the big supply chains, in the big companies where there is automobile companies, like more food industry, big food industry companies, where they are dealing with the more and more products. So this is the virtual representation we are having in the supply chain. And there are hundreds of warehouses. There are some companies which are having hundreds of warehouses, like Flipkart as well. There are many warehouses. They are dealing for one product. It will come from the different the origin, then it will come to the different warehouses, then it will go to the different part of the country to the customer. So there are many warehouses or many processes engaging in between the product, in between delivering the product. So there are many inventory, assets, logistics, different positions are there. Also, if they are also having the stimulated time to provide the customer product to the delivery location. So we can also follow with the customer. We can have the digital chatbots, so we can expedite the product as well. So this is how top tech trends are working in the digital supply chain transformation. Okay. So what are the steps we are using in digitalizing the supply chain? So there are mainly 5 steps we are using. Mm. So in this slide, if you have any questions. Anyone wants to add, or any problem, anything which is not clear? No. So what are the steps how we have to digitalize the supply chain? So in any company, before digitalizing any process or any segment of the process, first we will see the cost benefit. Okay. If one resource is doing the purchase order making in 5 minutes, approx 5 minutes, then what will be the profit by digitalizing the process of the segment, that segment? It will have the cost benefit or not? First, the most first benefit is if it can lower the cost price or not, because more resources will have the more salary. Okay. So if we are digitalizing the supply chain, if we are digitalizing the one segment of the supply chain, so it is having the it is giving us the monetary benefit or not? So firstly, this will be the first very first observation or very first process step to have the cost calculation. So how we are how we will digitalize the supply chain? This is the first step which will because in the purchase department from where from I, so firstly we have to work on the expenses. The less the most important responsibility of the purchase department to cut down the expenses. So the first problem is we can have the companies working for the profits, for the growth, for the revenue. So this is the first step to digitalizing any process, any supply chain. We must have the cost calculation first. So my voice is clear or not? Is there an internet connection problem? I'm clear. Okay. So first we have to define the vision to implementing any digital transformation, and also by implementing the digital and transformation, it is also the expensive thing. So if it will like really benefit the the in the monetary level, in the time level, it will also make the time less consuming, then we will go to the our department, to the our approving managers. If this is everything should be there, we have some form is there, we have to first fill it. It is already have the heads we are having to it will have the time problem or the time monetary problem. So this is how we have to discuss with our approving managers, otherwise our idea will not be approved. Okay. So firstly we have the vision, what why we need it, or what benefits we are having after the digital transformation of that process. So first we have the defined clear vision, why we need it, and what reason or what benefits we will having. Make sure the vision is aligned with your enterprise goals. Enterprise goals means it will not increase the cost, it will decrease the time, it will use the less resources, less human resources, and it will also not it should be long term goal, not the short term goal. Because if you are investing $1,000 to any process, and it is not if it is not giving you the long term goal, then it will not approved. So firstly, you have the clear vision, and it should be aligned with the enterprise goals. It will not, increase your the department cost. Okay. So this is the first vision you have to clear with it. Secondly, unify the data and processes. Use a unified platform to gain complete end-to-end supply chain visibility. We must have the platform where we have the end-to-end supply chain visibility. The one person, designated person to that project who have that idea or that vision. So the process and unified data. Utilize enhanced transparency for the streamlining core functions, including inventory management, warehouse management, demand forecasting, and logistics. So whatever the digital transformation we need in the process, so we must align all these core functions in the supply chain, that they will get benefited, not because of their more digital transformation. There will be more time it engaged, because when we start a new process, the human resource, the employees, the trainer needs more time to go with it or to used to with it. So it should be more streamlined with all these functions, that they cannot be troubled. Okay. So because we have the same resource allotted to some department, and the same resource has to also work on the digital transformation project, so the time should not be clash. First they have to complete their day-to-day work, then we will go to the project. So this is, they should not, problematic to the daily, bread butter, we say in the corporate. Their bread butter should not be affected due to their any project, or their working for the digital process. Okay. So this is how the main objective is, to increase visibility for every role and process across the extended supply chain. So when we unify the data and process, it takes some time. Okay, so why we are doing it? To make it more visible for every role and process to across the extended supply chain, whether the vendor is also benefiting or not, how the payment processes are doing, how the inventories are plusing and minus, how the forecasting is different, how the logistics is working. So these all data and processes, one person should be designated to this process for unifying the data, for collecting the data for everyone. Like if there is any what we say, the poll thing, that we need it or not. First in the team we will have this activity. So this is how the more data will be there, the more visibility will also be there. We also have studied these process in, or any process when we are starting. There we having the Lean Six Sigma. So there is also these steps we are using. The DMAC thing: define, measure, integrate, or these I skipping. So DMAC is also there, where we are having the collection of data. If I'm giving you the example, if any employee or most of the employees are coming late to the office, so what is the root causes? So first we will work on the root causes system. Okay, if they are controlled by the man, then we will work on it. If they are not controlled by the man, if there any rainy season problem, or any pandemic or epidemic things which are not controlled by the human, so these are the root causes we are explaining by having the collection of data. So this is the second step of the digital supply chain. We can collect the data and and study the process with the teams working with the different departments. Thirdly, automate the planning process. Now after collecting the data, after studying the data, after exploring the output and inputs of the process, then we will automate the process first. Then we planning the process, and then we automate it. With the automate planning, you can simplify task and driving meaning from the large volumes of data. So after having data, we will analyze it. Okay, So after analyzing it, we are having the planning in our minds who have the vision. And that planning process is, is compensating with the vision or not. Sometimes we have many, useless data as well. So we have to filter it. So replace routine and recurring tasks with the automated process. If there is a many task or many processes which is coming recurring, so we can have the different AI tools we can use and filter it out. So this is also we are having the more time benefit is there. So, but do not automate the process that involve complex situations or require collaboration between planners. So, but planning process is not very easy. It takes time. So firstly, you need to collect the data, simplify the task, and this all things will be done under the black belt trainer of the Lean Six Sigma. We have two specification, green belt and black belt. So black belt is the team lead always, who will supervise the process, how you will work. So these simplified task and derive the meaning from the large volumes of data. So this is how we need to plan the process. Replace the routine and recurring task with the automated process. Because if the more recurring task will be there, then there will be no work of automation. Okay, if someone have using the macros in Excel, this is also using the same thing. They are if the same we are working on the same report and the same steps we are doing, so we will resume the macros in the Excel, and it will learn the process, and it will be happen. And if there is a automated button, we will create in the macros of the Excel. So we will just click that button, and that process and that the steps will be done by itself in Excel. So this is the automation we are using manually in the Excel. If anyone know about the macros here. Yeah, VBA. Prescriptive analyst. So, Santosh, you want to add something?
Ma'am, you said now about the planning process. In the final stage, there is a final stage which is prescriptive analytics. Means for the taking any business decision, we must have the domain knowledge of that particular industry. So that
Yes.
analytics stage is called as prescriptive analytics.
Okay.
This, yeah.
Yeah. So there are many things how we can automate, even if you are working in any company or you are doing the same work or same steps in the same report. So you can also automate it using the VBA or using the macros in Excel. If you are working, if your company is using Excel. Also, there are many softwares we are also having. We can coordinate with the consulting team of that software, and we can automate it. So but we have to we have to filter the data, and there are many data we coordinate with the different teams. So there will be many data and many tasks will be there, but you need to target on your vision, and you have to filter the data. So and accordingly you have to plan your process and automate it. And for automation, you need to have the different planners there, and collaboration. It is also the time taking process as well. Fourthly is use data and analytics. Okay, firstly you have filtered the data. Now what use that data and do the analytics. So supply chain leaders need access to real time data to make informed decisions. It also helps them deal effectively with partners, suppliers, and other related functions. Real time data also helps identify potential disruptions and increases visibility across the supply chain. So how you will use the data, this is not the one single person activity. You have to coordinate with different teams, with your team lead, whoever the green belt who are supervising the trainer. So you will have to work with them, and the supply chain leaders who are working, have the good experience in the same company, or having the good real time decision making. So So work with them. They will guide you how the partners, suppliers, and other related functions. Okay. So you also have to connect with the vendor if it is on the procure to pay cycle. If it is the customer based cycle, that is order to O2C, order to customer cycle, or order to cash cycle. So you have to also coordinate with different partners. That can be supplier, that can be different vendor, that can be the sourcing team, that can be the purchasing team, that can be the AP accounts team, finance team. So there are many teams you have to work with, because the one process, the one digitalization process will affect the whole process in the company. So you have to use data and analytics with the different analytics like KPI, real time analytics like KPI. KPI is a different thing. Key performance indicator is a like different thing. But KPIs, hmm, KPIs are also using in different companies. So they are using the different channels for them. So real-time data also help identify potential disruption and increase visibility across the supply chain. So by using analytics and data, we can have the less disruptions and increase visibility across the supply chain. So this is the working the real-time data. The last one is align people with the process. Now you have done the digital output input, you have used the data, you have analyzed the everything. Now what you have to done, you have to align the people with the process. What difference will be come to the process? Even if you shift to a digital supply chain, it would be futile if your team members were not aligned with them, so with the new techniques and processes. So if your collaboration with the team, if you are friendly with the team, your team lead is also supporting you, then process will become a win-win situation. Otherwise, there will be the lose situation if your communication is not good with your team members. The process, because if there is a new challenge or new change come to the process, you have to be very clear, very cohesive with your team members how to use it. You have to make the email, or you have to organize the meeting, that how you are doing, what is the problem statement, and how you have worked on upon it, and how the people use the end outcome of the process. So this is how align people with the process. So this is the whole digital transformation. These are the steps you can take to digitizing these things. So, any problem in these 5 steps? We have also the example of Tech Avaya. If anyone heard the name of Avaya company, anyone of this Tech Avaya company? It's a very big name. Anyone heard about this name, Avaya? Okay. So, yes, I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, uh, my voice is clear. Hello. Okay, so the time is ticking. So we will discuss this study in the next module when we started the new one, and this slide will be